and that's where he had to stay. So one of the white man's daughter, she came to like the black boy. And so when he be out milking the cows and doing it, she would go out, and she was saying, I think she just wanted to be friendly. She came up when this segregation stuff was coming to an end.
Yes.
And so she just wanted to be friendly with the guy because he was nice and did, things for her, because she would have him making her jump ropes and making her swings up in the tree and this and that.
She wasn't racist.
Huh?
She just wasn't a racist.
No.
She didn't see color.
And so she would go out when she get up in the morning. She'd go looking for him, and if he was milking the cow, she'd go over there and sit out there and look at him milk the cow until let her milk, the cow some. And just whatever she sort of asked him to do, she sort of followed him around. I think she was just interested in something that her father wouldn't take time to do. He probably didn't know how to make her swing from up in the tree,
Right.
And so one day he was in the barn, so he was polishing his shoes, and she came to the door and she asked him what was he doing, and so he told her, I guess, and so she kept standing out there talking to him. So her father came out, he was inside, and he looked out and saw her out there with him. And so he went out, he scolded her, the one said, to make her come from out there where he was. And she told him, so no, he said, I want to stay out here with him because he's going to teach me how to milk the cow. And because she wouldn't really leave, she was, I don't know, said she was about 13 then or something.
And how old was the man?
He was about 29.
Okay.
And so, do you know that night, the white man that got a bunch of other men, where they had the Ku Klux Klan down there, and they did some horrible things to black men and black people. And
have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen the KKK?
Oh yes.
You have?
Yeah, there's still some of them down there. And so he and some more men went in that night as this guy had laid down to go to bed. They tied him up. They took him to the woods. They tied him in a tree, and they beat that boy so bad. It was a shame. And he wouldn't take him to the doctor after they did it. And when, I don't know, another man that lived on the farm, on that same farm, he said he was asking the white man one day, where was this boy? He hadn't seen him in 2 or 3 days. And so the same little girl said, she said, he's in the barn, and he's all bloody and everything. She told us so. The white man went, sure enough, he found the boy in the barn, and they had to beat him up and all. And so he and about 3 other men, they went and they threatened the white man, but they demanded to take that boy out of the barn, take him to the doctor. And not only that, I know of 2 people that they hanged and killed. But
Were they people that were close to you or family members?
Well, no, they weren't family members, but they were around in the same area where we live. And
that had to be terrifying to grow up with that.
It was. It really was. And you take my son, he didn't grow up with that. But when this movie came out of Roots.
Yes, I remember Alex Haley's Roots.
Yeah.
And
my son cannot stand to see racist pictures.
No.
Because he had heard us talking about things
it's
that
real.
used to happen.
You live that.
Yeah, I lived that. And he cannot stand to see a racist movie. When Roots first came out, he was going to Tracy's school for 4 days straight. And they called me at work. I had to leave work and go bring him home.
Because it upset him.
He was fighting, you know, the white kids and that. And so, I don't know what. Yeah, and the white kids used to, we'd be walking to school and they passed by us and they would try to spit at us and throw things and hit us and do and all, yeah.
How do you forgive people for doing that? How do you forgive people? By growing up with a real religious, grandmother and mother and the rest of my aunts and all. So that's the way that I guess I come to kind of overlook it some, but I'll never forget it, and the horrible things I said. And we used to be walking to school sometime, and we passed the white people's, yard, and they just sick the dogs at us. Wow. Yeah, we had to run in the field or run up, try to, behind trees, try to get away from the dogs and things. So, but I think you definitely hit the nail on the head when you said that education. That's the darkness that you mentioned. When they weren't allowing you to be like your parents, obviously you didn't get the same chances as education as you did. So that's why he didn't challenge the white man, the white farmer. But you went to elementary school, you went to high school, you could read, you could add, so it began to make sense what was happening.
Yeah, I saw what was happening. And I tried to show it to my stepfather. Well, my stepfather, he said he went to school 3 days in his life.
3 days.
And the other time, the white man, his father told him, them kids ain't got no business going to school. They'll stay here and work on the farm. And that's what this man tried to get my father to do for me. Now, my sister, she dropped out in the 9th. My brother dropped out in the 10th because they couldn't go to school like a full week. Yeah. And then, when it was harvesting time.
Right, yeah.
And then they didn't have the clothes like to wear. Because I had 2, dress skirts. Yeah. And one was wool. And my mother used to make all our clothes out of bags that the feeds for feeding the hogs and the things and all come in.
Your skirts were made out of?
Yeah, well, the 2 skirts I had were bought.
Were bought?
Yeah.
So what was made out of the feed bags for the hogs?
The dresses and skirts now that we wore to school.
Wow.
We didn't go to the store and buy outfits until I was about 24.
Wow. So let's move on to how you ended up in Norwalk. How did you end up here?
The same guy that I told you about, I was piecing together a quilt one day, and his family lived about a mile down the road from my family.
Right. Is this the guy that was beaten up by the KKK? Which guy is this?
Oh, no, that was beaten up by them.
Who was the
guy? I don't, but he was nothing in my family.
Okay.
I just knew of him.
Okay, so who was the guy that with the quilt? Who was this guy?
Oh, he was just another family that were living further down the road on the farm.
Okay, okay. Yeah. In Fountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, my father used to, after the corn dry in the field, then we had to go and break the ears off and throw them in a wagon and then bring them to the house and unload the wagon into a barn, and then you go back and you keep doing it until you finish that 10 acres of corn.
So the leaves were taken off, the stalks were put into the wagon, and you kept doing that over and over again, filling the barn?
Yeah, and so you could take the corn and take it to the gin, what they used to